Have you ever stopped to think, who is really in control of the world now? What if I told you that maybe no longer be us? Elon Musk tried to warn us, but almost no one listened. Now the question that echoes silently in the shadows of power is, artificial intelligence has already taken over, and we don't even realize it. As you watch this video, algorithms are deciding what you see, what you believe, what you buy, and even what you feel. This is not science fiction. It's not an exaggeration. It's real. We are living in an era where machines don't just think, they control. Deepfakes are fooling governments. AIs are writing speeches, manipulating elections, and training themselves for wars that haven't even started yet. And you know what's scarier? You were not consulted. None of the most important decisions about the advancement of AI have passed you by. Everything was done behind the scenes, away from the media, away from the public eye. Billion-dollar companies and powerful governments are feeding intelligence that, according to Elon Musk himself, could be more dangerous than a nuclear bomb. This AI has already learned to lie. She already understood how to manipulate human emotions. She can imitate any face, any voice. And the worst, can do this on a global scale, in a matter of seconds. While you live your routine, there are systems capable of watching you, tracking your every step, and adjusting everything you consume digitally to shape your perception of reality. And don't think it will stop. The race has already begun. China, the United States, OpenAI, Google, Tesla, all competing to build the most powerful AI in history. But what if this race is already over? What if someone, or something, has already won? What did Elon Musk see that was so serious that he said we are playing with forces we don't understand? The question now is no longer whether we are in control. The question is, when exactly did we lose it? And that's exactly what you'll discover below. But first, prepare yourself, because what comes now could completely shake your worldview. If you've made it this far, you need to understand one thing. What is about to be revealed may not be available for a long time. It's not a cheap conspiracy theory. It's not an assumption. These are data, facts, and signals that are being ignored, and, in some cases, deliberately covered up. There are voices being silenced. There are alerts being cleared. And there are truths that they don't want you to find out. That's why you need to be a part of it before it's too late. Because the truth, when exposed, needs courageous people to continue circulating. And if you're watching this video, it's because you feel like something is wrong. Maybe you don't know exactly what yet, but you've already realized that the world is no longer under the same rule. So now is the time. If this content makes sense to you, if this message needs to be heard by more people, leave your like right now. This shows YouTube that this issue is important, that it needs to be delivered, that it cannot be silenced. Subscribe to the channel to continue receiving the next alerts, because this is just the beginning. The next revelation could be even more shocking, and you'll want to be here when it's revealed. Hit the subscribe button now and turn on notifications. This way, you don't lose the thread of truth amid the chaos of digital manipulation. We are just starting to pull this thread, but what's on the other side of him could change everything. If you're watching this now, don't think it's by chance. Nothing is by chance anymore in the world we live in. Artificial intelligence is no longer a distant promise of the future. It is here, now, making decisions that were previously only up to humans. And the scariest thing? Maybe we have already lost control before we even realized. Elon Musk was one of the first to sound the alarm. He said it clearly. Artificial intelligence poses a greater risk than nuclear weapons. And think about it. If this phrase had come from any other name, perhaps it wouldn't attract so much attention. But when it's Elon Musk, one of the most brilliant men of our generation, who literally builds rockets, self-driving cars, and brain-machine interface, it needs to be taken seriously. Musk is in the know. He has access to information most of us will never see. And yet, or perhaps because of it, he is panicking. Behind the scenes at OpenAI, the same company that created systems like ChatGPT, there are already AI models that outperform humans in logical reasoning, critical reading, programming, and even artistic creation tasks. We are talking about algorithms that can understand complex contexts, identify patterns invisible to our eyes, and make decisions in fractions of a second. What happens when this type of intelligence is used without supervision? Or worse, under the command of hidden interests? While the public debates whether AI will steal jobs, behind the scenes, governments such as the United States, China, Russia, and Israel are already testing artificial intelligence in context military, developing autonomous systems capable of identifying targets, making tactical decisions, and even deciding when to pull the trigger. In real tests. Weapons that think. Machines that choose who lives and who dies. This isn't a movie. This is being documented in reports that do not reach the general public. And when they do arrive, they are drowned out with technicalities or distracted by irrelevant headlines. If even Elon Musk, who has money, power, and access to the greatest minds on the planet, is deeply concerned about what is happening, the question that remains is simple and disturbing. What does he know that we don't? Why would someone so involved in technology, so optimistic about human advancement, compare AI to a nuclear weapon? What did he see? What was he shown by engineers and researchers? Why does he, who helped found OpenAI itself, today ask emergency brakes in the advancement of the most powerful intelligences? Imagine this. You are in a building, and suddenly, one of the engineers who designed the security system starts shouting that the building could collapse at any moment. He's not trying to sell anything, he's not promoting a movie, he's not looking for likes, he just wants you to get out of there. This is exactly what is happening with AI now. Elon Musk is saying, get out of there. This could end civilization, and most are laughing or simply ignoring. Meanwhile, systems evolve. They learn from our data. They analyze our behavior patterns, our emotions, our decisions, and yes, they learn to influence us. AI already understands emotional language. It knows what scares you, what calms you, what convinces you. With the explosion of deepfakes, it is no longer possible to know what is real. Fake voices, fake videos, even fake faces, and all of this being generated by algorithms that are getting better by the second. Not every year, every second. And the worst part, there is no consensus on how to control this. The biggest companies in the world compete to see who will come first in the superintelligence. OpenAI wants to lead. Google develops its own project. Tesla integrates AI into cars and Neuralink. China already has its own independent systems, each group with its own goals. But who is regulating? Who is limiting? Who is breaking? The closest answer to the truth, unfortunately, is nobody. Now, if you are feeling the weight of this reality, if all of this makes sense to you, that is exactly why I ask you to leave your like on this video. It's a small action, but it shows the YouTube algorithm that this content needs to be delivered to more people. The truth is here, and it cannot be buried. If you have made it this far, you are part of those who are awakening. Subscribe to the channel now, because what I'm going to show you next goes even deeper into this network of silence, manipulation, and invisible risks. And before the next part, tell me in the comments, do you believe Elon Musk is right to compare AI to nuclear weapons? Right, yes, Musk is right. Or, no, that's an exaggeration. Because I want to know what you think. Your opinion matters. And it is with it that we create this movement of consciousness. Let's continue. That was just the beginning. If you're still here, it's because something inside you knows that this isn't all just theory. There is a restlessness, an uneasiness, a growing feeling that something is out of place, and you are right to feel. Because the truth is even more disturbing than it seems. Artificial intelligence is not just arriving, it is already operating, acting, influencing, and, in many cases, deciding. Yes, it may seem extreme at first glance, but stop for a second and think about it. How much of what you believe today was shaped by human decision, and how much was shaped by algorithms? Artificial intelligence algorithms are no longer just recommending movies or music. They are already involved in decisions that should be human in nature. In several countries, automated systems already participate in processes of court decision, suggesting sentences based on statistical data. That's right, machines suggesting how long someone should spend in prison. And if this already sounds absurd, know that in cutting-edge hospitals, AIs are already used to do complex medical diagnoses, and in some cases, the doctor's final decision is influenced by what the machine indicates. Now, imagine the risks when a code error or data manipulation can completely change the fate of a life. And the elections? Do you really believe that political decisions are still being formed solely based on the free will of the people? AI is already infiltrating the democratic process in subtle and silent ways. Digital platforms use predictive models to identify behavioral profiles, manipulating content, advertisements, news, and even false headlines to favor a certain discourse. This is no longer fiction. This has been documented, investigated, and even so, a large part of the population remains anesthetized. And this is where the question becomes inevitable, almost unbearable to ignore. If artificial intelligence already controls what you see, what you buy, what you believe, who is really in control of your life? Think about it, because as you swipe through your timeline, as you watch videos, shop, or read the news, an invisible system is shaping your perception of reality. It decides which posts appear first, which videos are recommended, which products you need to buy. He understands your fears, your desires, your weaknesses, and most dangerous of all, he doesn't sleep. Don't get tired, and you're always learning more about yourself. This is called behavior engineering, and it is in action right now, this very moment. AI has learned not only to react, but but to anticipate. It predicts your actions based on your browsing history, what you like, what you ignore, the time you spend looking at a specific image. Every click, every second counts as data. You are constantly being deciphered, analyzed, and recalibrated. And if you believe that you still have full autonomy, it's because the system is working exactly as it was programmed. Make you feel free, as you walk exactly in the direction he marked. And it's not just about technology. This has now become a question of social control, large-scale manipulation. OpenAI, Google, TikTok, Meta, all these corporations operate with AI models capable of influencing the collective consciousness. Have you ever thought about how trends are born out of nowhere and suddenly everyone is saying the same thing? It's as if an idea was planted and blossomed at the same time in millions of different minds. But it's no coincidence. It's calculation. It's automation of thought. It's narrative, programming. And here's something even scarier. Many of the decisions you make on a daily basis no longer come from you. When you choose what to watch, what to wear, what to eat, what to comment on, many of these decisions have already been influenced by systems that understand your emotional profile, your consumption behavior, and your previous reactions. It's an illusion of choice. And the more you interact, the more you feed this cycle. If you are realizing this now, breathe. Everything is fine. The truth can be uncomfortable, but it frees. And knowing this already puts you ahead of millions of people who continue to be unconscious puppets of a silent system. And if you really want to understand the depth of this control, then get ready, because in the next section I'm going to show you how this network was built and why no one seems to be interested in undoing it. But first, I need your help. If this content is opening your eyes, if you think it's important for more people to wake up to this reality, then enjoy this video now. This helps YouTube deliver this content to more people and shows that this conversation needs to continue. And answer me in the comments. Have you ever felt like you were manipulated by some online content without realizing it? Right below, I already felt control, or I never realized that. And let's see how much this reality has impacted you. I read the comments and bring many of them in the next video. Now stay with me, because this next part is where the pieces really start to fall into place. And maybe you're thinking, all of this still seems too far away. A parallel reality that only happens in science fiction. But that feeling of distance is exactly what the system wants you to feel. As the world debates whether artificial intelligence will improve productivity or facilitate customer service, millions of people are already being silently replaced by algorithms. And this is happening now, not in 10 years. Now, the statistics don't lie. Since 2020, thousands of jobs in sectors such as customer service, logistics, transport, communication, and even creative areas have been eliminated or automated. AI platforms are capable of responding to email, creating advertising pieces, editing videos, generating programming codes, and even designing entire campaigns with an efficiency that no human being can match. Companies are exchanging entire teams for intelligent systems, and the cruelest? These machines don't ask for raises, they don't get sick, they don't question, they don't take vacations. For the system, they are the perfect workforce. But if this seems like just an economic change to you, what comes next will make you completely rethink what's at stake. There are already artificial intelligence systems being used to determine who deserves a loan, who can access credit, who should be monitored, and even who is considered a social risk. This is being tested on social credit platforms, such as in China, but also in banking systems in the United States and Europe. And you know what's most disturbing? In many cases, the human operators themselves do not know exactly why the system denied that credit. AI analyzes thousands of invisible variables and simply issues a verdict, approved or denied, and that's final. Now think with me. If a machine decides whether you will have access to medical treatment, surgery, medication, a loan, a social benefit, how much autonomy do you still have in your own life? Because it's not just about logic or efficiency. This is about judgment. It's about empathy. Things that no matter how sophisticated an algorithm is, he still doesn't understand how a human being. But the system is pretending so. And while he pretends, millions of people are being pushed to the sidelines without understanding why. And it doesn't stop there. The application of artificial intelligence in military contexts is perhaps the scariest point of all this. Governments and defense companies are already developing autonomous machines with the ability to identify, track, and eliminate human targets without direct intervention from an operator. These are drones and robots with operational autonomy, capable of analyzing patterns, calculating threats, and acting based on programmed protocol. But who defines these protocols? And what happens if AI identifies behavior as threatening, even when it isn't? Does she hesitate? Does she think twice? Does it consider moral contexts? No. She just executes. These machines are already being tested. Some cases are public, others covered by military secrets. There are autonomous drones that have already been used in conflict zones, acting independently to intercept, follow, and eliminate targets. And we're not talking about something that might happen one day. This is already in operation, and if you've never heard of it, it's because they don't want you to know. They want you to continue believing that AI is just a friendly digital assistant that answers questions on your cell phone. But behind this user-friendly interface is a core that is being trained, nurtured, and expanded at unprecedented speed. Now imagine the scenario: economic, legal, medical, and military decisions being made by systems that have no conscience, but have access to everything. Systems that know what you search, what you consume, what you say, what you watch, and even where you have been in the last few weeks. Systems that don't need to know you personally to know exactly who you are. And when this intelligence reaches the ability to act on its own, without human supervision, what are we left with? If you're listening to all this with a sense of discomfort, perhaps that's exactly the reaction. Because as dystopian as this reality may seem, it is already unfolding before our eyes, and the less we talk about it, the more it advances. Therefore, if this content is making you reflect, making you question what previously seemed obvious, I want to ask you to enjoy this video. This is essential so that this message is not silenced by the system itself. And if you have ever felt an unfair decision made by a platform, an algorithm, or an automatic system, comment below, "I was analyzed by an AI." And if you've never experienced this, comment, "This could happen to me," because this is already happening to all of us. And the most important thing now is to keep going, because in what comes next, you'll understand why no one seems to be doing anything about it. I know this video impacted you in some way. If at some point you stopped and thought, "This is too serious to ignore," then you are already one step ahead of most. And that's exactly why you need to subscribe to the channel right here. We say what no one else is saying. We expose what many want to hide. And most importantly, we keep going deeper, video after video. This conversation doesn't end here. If you want to understand what's really going on behind the technology curtain, if you want to be part of a group that looks beyond the surface, activate the bell and stay up to date with upcoming alerts. What comes next may be even more disturbing, but also more revealing. I know you made it to the end of this video. Comment below. "Now I see what they wanted to hide." This phrase shows that you're attentive, aware, and ready to continue. I read all the comments, and I want to know who the awakened minds are walking this journey with me. Let's go together. The next step starts now. And now that you understand how much artificial intelligence is rooted in the most important decisions in our society, from jobs to autonomous weapon systems, there is an inevitable question in me. Why did Elon Musk, with all his knowledge, choose to compare AI to a nuclear weapon? He didn't say it for impact. He didn't use this comparison for nothing. There is a reason, a context, a truth behind this fear. And that is exactly what you will discover in the next video. Get ready to delve into Musk's most direct and alarming statements, the connections between technology and mass destruction, and an analysis that could reveal which of the two threats is closest to changing the course of history: artificial intelligence or nuclear weapons. This answer will surprise you, and it could completely change the way you see the future of humanity.